Welcome back to the weekend of streaming. We're back here on the Team Mission channel, getting ready to go fishing, which launched pretty immediately. Oh, sorry about the chair creak there. I really do need to get a new chair. But I'll keep with the old creaky one. I get to creak around on old floorboards. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't tuned into me before, we are going through Final Fantasy XIV. We're currently also doing the Mogstone event, gathering irregular Mogstones of Phantasmagoria by doing ocean fishing. Hopefully we'll get it every 2 hours. And then interspersed between that, we are in the post-Aram Reborn story. We defeated all the hard mode primals the other day. I might do extreme primals at some point, but my main aim is to get to Heavensward. Because then once I've unlocked that, I can pick up the Astrologian class. Oh, I also didn't check what bait I'm using. I jumped into ocean fishing and didn't even have a look. What bait is it? Ragworms. We've got to catch 13 crabs, 5 3-star or higher, and 27 strong bites, which that's one of them, so that's a good start. So yeah, the general aim of the streams is to try and do... Ooh, and that was a crab as well. Nice. I'm running through the story. We are currently doing the post-ARR story to try and get to Heavensward. And there's a whole bunch of extra stuff that we've got to do as well. Although we have the option to do. Like, I want to level up my Culinarian. I'm obviously leveling up my Fisher purely by doing ocean fishing. Like, I've still got the level 1 fishing rod, even though we are level 81, because I literally did the first quest, unlocked ocean fishing, and then went ocean fishing, and I've been gathering up Mogstones by ocean fishing. I had 170, and I spent 150 of them on 3 of the mounts, and I grabbed 2 minions as well with a couple of extra. It means that we only need an extra 200. So I'm currently on 20, which means we need to do plenty of ocean fishing to get the rest of these Mogstones, which is entirely doable, because ocean fishing happens every 2 hours. But if I can get to Heavensward quicker, I can then unlock the quest to get gathering scripts, which then by doing ocean fishing I will be getting the Mogstones and purple gatherer scripts, which is then useful for getting better gear, so I can then upgrade everything on my Fisher, obviously making them more useful at getting better scores and therefore levelling up quicker, because obviously I'm still using level 1 fishing rod, which means while levelling up still, I only get like 1 level per fishing trip, whereas if I had fully updated gear, you could get 3. So the progress has slowed down a lot, but until I get to Heavensward, I'm not that fussed about speeding it back up again, because when my Fisher hits level 100, I will then be losing the experience resource, even though I am kind of just wasting the experience resource by not using the correct equipment. I just find it funnier. So there's an element of I'm trying to get to Heavensward primarily, more so than levelling. And the reason I'm ocean fishing is for the Mogstones, which there should also be a new weekly set of Mogstone events, of which last time we had Aurum Vale as our dungeon, and we did that. So there is potential that we will get a new dungeon that we can run to get a big chunk of mogstones, which would be useful. So I might go and have a look at that after this ocean fishing and see if we can quickly run through a dungeon before we then carry on with our story. We hit the story part where it kind of breaks into two, of where one part is helping escort some scholars to take etheric readings, and the other part is helping Tataru to find a new role. And she's attempted to become a scholar, unsuccessfully to some degree, but she will attempt other things. So we can carry on with that story quest once I've had a look at the Mogstones, the Mogpedia, that's what it's called. It's also quite funny that I'm stood next to someone who is much better kitted out for fishing than I am. We're doing pretty well at catching crabs. We've got a few strong bites, so all in all, not too bad so far. There's still plenty more that we can get, though. In fact, I think my background music is a little bit too low, so I will reel in this fish and quickly do the annoying bleep that this does to turn it back up again. So hopefully you can hear a bit more of the background, the actual in-game noises, which should be useful. Second fish after this. So we'll be going through to the second area with 3 crabs caught and 6 strong bites caught. Oh, and I didn't even catch that last fish. It could well have been a 3-star fish, but if we get a spectral at some point, then that will be sorted. So not too difficult. The next zone is also ragworms, and then krill after that. So it seems simple. Random poses. Ooh. Mog home in the background. Just Morse code some people. Oh, I only got the S and the O out. Unfortunately, the only Morse code that I know is SOS, so I'm just SOSing people. Very silly. But no one else is Morse coding me back. I don't even know if you can see other people's light. I thought you could, but I currently can't. On anyone. Oh no, I can there, so you can. That's fine, I thought you could. Nice, level 82. A huge delay on me talking there. Don't worry, that was my brain, not the stream. My brain had the delay. It's all good. I mean, stream has a delay anyway, but not between their gameplay and me talking, so that's fine. Ooh, finally a strong bite. Oh right, I'm trying to do strong bites, so I could turn on snagging again. Should get me stronger bites overall, I think. Just some nice simple fishing. and then we're going up to the last zone, and we've got to swap to Krill. Obviously we don't have to swap to Krill, but hopefully it will be more beneficial for us if we do. Although speaking of that, this fishing trip has not been amazingly successful in regards to the advice it's given. I have not caught many crabs, I have not started a spectral current, and I have not had many ferocious bites. Tricky. Oh, there's the spectral. So now we're going to catch all the 4-star fish. So we'll at very minimum complete that middle mission. Because as long as you get a spectral point, you always will. It can get you a load of points for finishing that. Just need to somehow get strong bites and crabs. I'm getting some strong bites when I have potions on, which is definitely something. I don't think I'm getting the 27 strong bites, I still need another 12. Maybe like 3.5 minutes. There's potential. But unlikely. starting to get some crabs now, but I don't think it's quick enough. I think I'm going to fall short on both of those other two quests. Might be able to get one more hook in. There we go. And then he'll call for us going back to Limsa now. So unfortunately I didn't get the amount of crabs I needed or the amount of strong bites I needed. But I caught a decent amount of fish, just not the right ones. And this is where better gear would help me level up a lot quicker, because I would complete all the voyage missions pretty much every time if I was just catching the right things. Which, if I had the correct gear, I would be. More so. Obviously not 100%. Okay. Then we return to port. Yeah, total score 5,000 plus 45%. Not terrible. I mean, it is kind of terrible, but not 100% terrible, which is good. We still got stuff. And then I throw all the fish away, because I have not unlocked desynthesizing yet. So I just sell the fish off for pennies. Tiny amounts of gil. But we are on 34. Oh, I need more krill and more worms. Always got to make sure I have more than 100 for every fishing trip. We can swap back into our winter gear because our story is going to be taking us to Coerthas a fair amount. But we will come back over here and pick up with Tartaru again. Hello, Tartaru. Ancient ways, timeless wants. As fetching as these garments are, I fear I shall never don them again. But I can't go back to the Rising Stones without something to show for my time away. Wait, I know what I can do. That is, if you don't mind accompanying me for a little longer. Wonderful. Then to Costa del Sol we will go. It's a bit of a gamble, but I'm confident it will pay off. What's a bit of a gamble, Tartaru? What is it that you are gambling on? We're going to Costa del Sol, so I think I can take a ferry there from the Fishing Guild. Fairly certain I can. It's the one ferry from here that I take less often than the one to Aleport. Yeah, there we go, Costa del Sol. We head off to the beach, where I was just sailing past on the fishing ship. Right. Yep. This is the bit I remembered, where Tartaru learns to fish. Yes, this is it. This is where the man in the drowning wench told me to look. There is a certain variety of clam which can be harvested this time of year in Bloodshaw, or one which produced the most marvellous pearls. However, these clams are so coveted by certain wild creatures. These clams are also coveted by certain wild creatures, and since I fared rather poorly in battle last time, let us be off. She wants me to go kill the wild creature for her, which is fine. I can do that. Make sure that I get Matilda with me. I need to get a cuter outfit for Matilda. And also get myself a house so that I can dye her the correct colour. Because little Matilda here needs to be the correct colour. What fortune! I've already found one. Would you be so kind as to keep watch while I work? This should only take a moment. I run all the way over here and keep watch from over here for some reason. So much water. This big sea serpent. So we have killed Leviathan, so in way of sea serpents, this is a very small sea serpent. Nice. I should also open up my companion tab. Ooh, level 6. Enhanced critical. Damage over time, which is useful. And accuracy, which is also very useful. Well done, Matilda. You've earned a good amount of levels. Well fought, Tegan, well fought. I knew I was right to ask you to come. As for me, I have my prize, a bounty of blood pearls. So named for their reddish hue, they were treasured as wards against dark magics in ancient times. I thought I might make charms for everyone, so that no matter where they go, they will always come home. It's sort of the power to defend myself and other people, in a way. Right, well, I mustn't keep Philomena waiting. There's work to be done, and lots of it. We're to secure provisions for the scions in the Lamincent markets. She may have an eye for quality, but I have a nose for bargains. Will you be heading back to the Rising Stones? If so, pray convey my apologies to the Antestant, and tell her that she needn't worry about me. Farewell, Deacon, and thank you for everything. That sounded rather final, didn't it? How about until we meet again? I do like her hat. splashing around in waist deep water. What are you planning? Okay, now we can go complete the other half. Which is in Revenant's Toll anyway. So, back to Revenant's Toll! Okay, Mr. Boulder. Ah, Tegan. Is it true that you agreed to lend us a hand? Huzzah! What did I tell you, Coulternet? Our misfortune is becoming a blessing, an opportunity to serve alongside the Warrior of Light herself. Need I remind you, we have 3 scholars to escort, each of whom will take a different route. True, but our mission is the same. Separated by arms we may be, but in spirit we shall be together. If such thoughts bring you joy, you are welcome to think them. To more practical concerns. Tegan, we would have you attend to the scholar charged with surveying the South Shroud. He is waiting at Camp Tranquil as we speak. All you need to do is follow the man. He will determine the most appropriate locations to take his readings. In spirit, Tegan, in spirit. We shall be together every step of the way. Yes. And we teleport to Camp Tranquil. Because it's a long way to fly. Hello. At last, the Science Woman deigns to grace me with her presence. A pity that we have no time for pleasantries. Our final destination is Isom Ha. Come, we are late enough as it is. Then we nap as we fly. Yes, this location should suffice. Once I finish calibrating my instruments, I will require but a moment to take the necessary measurements. I trust I need not explain that my work can suffer no interruptions. Then, please, stand at an appropriate distance and keep watch for wild beasts. Appropriate distance is a shorter distance than I was earlier. Easy peasy. I see we have both completed our respective tasks. a satisfactory outcome, though if I could make one suggestion, you might try to dispatch your foes more quietly in future. I do not like to pick fault, but I really must be allowed to concentrate. Now then, Snake Malt awaits, shall we? Yep. Snake Malt is over this way, I think. Somewhere around here. Oh, there. Right about here, yes. As before, I would ask you to keep an eye out for dangerous beasts as I work. The same distance away. Yeah. You can get a good final hit on each of them. Oh, I didn't get a good final hit. Matilda got a good final hit. Fascinating. These readings are not at all what I expected. Though perhaps that should come as no surprise. I'm not given to superstition, but there is a queer, almost blasphemous air hereabouts. Let us quit this place and return to Roots Lake. We have one more site to survey. But before I go, I'm going to run up here and open up this dungeon that's just kind of sat here. Hi, Maxine. Here at Nedric's recommendation, then you must not be without skill. That said, it is my duty to warn you of the dangers that await. This fortress was built by the Amdapori, an ancient people who rose to power upon arcane knowledge. During the heyday of their civilization, they built magnificent structures such as this. Alas, that splendour has long faded into memory, and the keep has become a lair of the Lambs of Dalamud, a doomsday cult. Some of the cultists have even succeeded in summoning Void Scent, and we Wood Whalers welcome capable adventurers who would be willing to keep their numbers in check. I will, at some point. But for now, I've got to help survey the area. So the Lambs of Dalamud can do what they want. I'm sure it won't be a problem. As before, my guardian, pray leave me to my task and ensure our safety. Stand and do a little bit of lookout. Do I want to aggro a bunch of these enemies? There's only two. We'll be fine. Leave Matilda's to fight one and I'll fight the other. Now I've done it. simple. This data should prove invaluable to... Oh, gods, what is that stench? Did you slaughter a creep of adamantoise while my back was turned? Quickly now, to Camp Tranquil. I will not have my clothing reeking of blood and offal. Gross. You chose to paddle in the Ichor a while longer. I take it. No matter. I took advantage of my unexpected privacy and performed a cursory analysis of my data. It would appear that there has been a measurable decrease in Eorzea's ambient aether concentrations since the calamity. However, this data is far from conclusive. We must take additional measurements to confirm my assessment. For our next survey, I would have you escort me to Earth's Font. The ambient aether concentrations there are so high that crystalline structures form spontaneously. Consequently, anomalous fluctuations should be much easier to detect. Brilliant, yes? No, don't bother answering. That was rhetorical. Now come along. Very condescending of him. I should have given him a smarmier voice. Like, probably more droll. But I don't want to be too annoying with my voices. I already did that back in the first few videos. And, yeah. While I can kind of do some voices, silly annoying voices are not my favourites. You should be more familiar with the procedure by now. Pray find a suitable position from which to keep watch while I take measurements. Over here on this other rock. Yep. Yes, quite high. It's still markedly lower than the historical measurements taken near the end of the 6th astral era. Could the presence of a primal account for the difference? Or is there something else? Something else. Something else? Zion? Zion, come here. I need you. Real? Oh no, it's Wilred. We found Wilred. Fear not, my friends. Help has arrived. Your timing was good. There you are, Tegan. Hori and I were worried when you and your charge failed to return at the appointed hour. Gutted like a hog. But not by one, no. These wounds were made with a blade. Doesn't look like he put up much of a fight either. Nary a mark on his sword or his shield. I've heard nothing of any Crystal Brave operations in this area. What cause had Wilred to come here? What should we do? We will see to the scholar's protection, Deacon. Aye, and the boy's remains. You should return to Rising Stones. Contestant will want to know what happened here. And so do I. Well, he was killed by someone he knew and trusted, and that's why he's out here, because they probably lured him out here. seems all pretty self-explanatory if you ask me. Looks at door. Would you like to enter? No. I'm just looking. I'm just staring at the door. There's no need for me to go inside at all. Welcome home, Deacon. I gather you found Tartar in Ipsilaminsa. Oh, right. Turning in this one first. My, it sounds as though she had quite an adventure. And while it did not end as she had hoped, I suspect that it will prove to be a valuable experience. I dare say she could have managed without our intervention. Even so, I appreciate you indulging my request. Egan, you returned. Yes, I certainly went off and did a different set of things and then came back. I definitely didn't do both sets of things and then have just been stood here talking to you between these two interactions. And you seem troubled. Did the role of escort chafe you? Wilward, dead? Mayhap murdered? By the 12, how can that be? I will send word to Alphino at once. He will want to conduct a full investigation, and send word to Wilward's family. Gods, he was just a boy. Who would do this and why? And that was the split. And we do two separate little quest lines and then join back up again at the end. Though recent events weigh heavily on our minds, we must needs set them aside for now. That seems to be your go-to, Minfilia. Things are pretty dark, but we can put that aside. It's like, Minbrida died, and you kind of just went, we've got more important things. We then killed a dragon, and you went, we've got more important things. Like, I think her just kind of brushing off everything that happens between updates, because obviously the post-ARR story was brought out in like 5 different mini expansions before Heavensward was released. And so between each one it just kind of goes, this is a thing that happened, and now we ignore it while we do this other thing, then we ignore that while we do this other thing, and then we ignore that while we kind of go back over the other stuff, and now we just kind of accumulate them all together before we go into Heavensward. We are come to a defining moment in Eorzean history. The grand commemoration of our joint defence of Ishgard. The first time in 15 long years since our people have stood side by side with our neighbours to the north to fight in common cause. This may mark the true rebirth of the Eorzean alliance. Failing that, it should at the very least serve to bring our nations closer together. We have every reason to raise our voices in celebration, do we not? We have bested Dravanians and Ascians both. Against desperate odds we have fought and won. But the Primals still plague us, and the Empire still plots our subjugation. And our triumph, remarkable though they are, were brought at a terrible price. Brave adventurers and allies, broken on the steps of faith, and before our eyes, in this very room, our dear friend Minbrida. This is the victory we have wrought, and it is as bitter ashes in my mouth. I would sooner stay here and invite those with more appetite to enjoy the feast in my stead. Alas, it is a royal banquet, and all of our allies will be in attendance. It is our duty to present a united front, that we might serve as a beacon of hope to all. Yeah, me with my big fluffy hood. It seems I have no choice but to take my own advice. I instructed the others to meet us in Uldar, that we might make our grand entrance together. Unfortunately, I had to settle for leaving Tartaru and Lamina and Lamin a note. If they do not return quickly, they will have to settle for whatever leftovers I can smuggle out of the fragrant chamber. Do you find it funny that her outfit has a scimitar on its hip, but she never actually fights anyone? Off to the big soiree, Tegan. Raise a glass for me, eh? Or not. You don't look best pleased, lass. Something on your mind? Yeah, we found Wilred, and he's dead. By the Navigator, Wilred's dead? Gods damn it. They must know they've been rumbled. I mean, sod it. 'Tis past time we had this talk. After our last conversation, I got to thinking about where certain funds were coming from. So I had to dig around, on the quiet, like, and sure enough, I found it. Seems a fair bit of coins made its way into the Braves' coffers, courtesy of a Dodo Consortium. A daft name for a business if I ever heard one. Which is what gave me an inkling that something weren't right. So I went through the ledgers again, and found another half-dozen donations from organisations with stupid bloody names. Didn't take long to find the common thread. All were owned by the Mirage Trust. Oh, I'll give them credit. He showed us up for the amateurs we are. Short of calling one of his businesses the Bribery Consortium, I didn't know what more he could have done to mock our rules on financial contributions. The gods only know how many men are the first and third are taken to Ledgy's coin. But now we know, as some of them are, I'd wager me right eye they're the ones what did they're the ones what did Wilfred in. The earnest young fool had taken to asking the wrong kind of questions. Bound to attract attention, he was. Should have seen it at the time, but I didn't. Gods damn me. Still, I don't see what Teledji hopes to accomplish. He hid his scheme with all the care of a drunk into the wind. Nope. No, he's cleverer than this. So we need to be clever too. That's the only way we'll ever repay this debt of blood. We'll purge every one of them traitorous from our ranks. On that note, you have my word. And Tegan, mind yourself when you're in Uldar, eh? We're heading into a storm. I can smell it. The kind that'll sweep a man overboard and drag him under for he knows what. Or he knows it. I was going to say for he knows what's what. I like Riel as a character, but also his mannerism of speaking is very strange. I get the whole being a pirate and talking with Miss and various. Or pirate or cowboy, both kind of work the same. Where you miss certain syllables, but obviously my brain wants to read the full word, and I've got to piece together where the missing syllables are. And it means sometimes I read a word wrong or catch a different chunk of it, or try to read the bit that's missing and then get confused by why it's not the bit that I'm actually looking at. I don't know why I decided to run here. Like, I have to take the lift to the Easting Step anyway. Could have just teleported to the Royal Promenade. But there we go. I'm in Velia. We are ready to go. We've been waiting for you, Tegan. The celebration is due to begin shortly. I had hoped that we might make our introductions together, but Mistress Ramodi just sent word that you are needed in the quicksand. Oh, so I didn't get to come in the big grand entrance. We will go on ahead, Tegan. Pray join us once matters at the quicksand are resolved. Yeah, sure. Give my regards to Mamodi, and let her know that I will call upon her anon. To the quicksand. By jumping all the way down here. I appreciate you dropping in on such short notice, Deacon. I know you've got places to be, so I won't waste your time. You're friends with the Crystal Brave by the name of Aliana, aren't you? Former adventurer? Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure you recruited her yourself. Well, anyway, she came round for a meal not long ago, and before she left, she asked me to give you a message. Said if the others ended up dragging you to a feast, I was to see you got it before you made your grand entrance. Meet me at the station west of the Coffer and Coffin. There's something I must show you. A short message, I grant you, but she thought long and hard before picking those words. Really touched her food, too. Under other circumstances, I'd have thought those signs to the troubled heart, but something tells me she ain't planning to ask your thoughts on a gentleman caller. And the Coffer and Coffin is over this way, I believe. If I'm remembering correctly. Are we going to find out who killed Wilred? And by we, I mean you, because I know who killed Wilred. I've played the story before. And I do definitely love this game. But parts of me is a bit like going through a story that I've already done before. It's very much acting out a play. Whereas I kind of want to find a game where I can experience a story that I haven't experienced before. So if anyone knows any really good story games, I would be interested. As you stand upon the platform, your thoughts begin to wander, and all too soon the ghosts of comrades lost and enemies slain begin to file behind your mind's eye in solemn procession. Clearing your head, you can scan the horizon, but see no sign of Aliana. Bit more waiting. Straining your ears to listen, you hear the clatter of Quirquin and the buzzing of syrphids, but no approaching footfall. Sighing, you bow your head, only to notice the vial lying at your feet. Tegan, is that you? What brings you out this way? Oh, hi, buddy. I am kind of in the Crystal Braves colours. Lieutenant Aliana? Why, no, I haven't seen her about. If she had come this way, had she come this way, I guarantee we would have crossed paths. I must have passed this spot a dozen times. We're to patrol the city's environs, on account of the royal banquet. Captain's orders, you understand. Speaking of which, isn't it about to begin? You should be with the other honoured guests, enjoying your well-deserved respite. Aye, pray return to Uldar, Tegan. If I chance to meet the lieutenant, I will tell her you were here. What have they done to Aliana?
O Sultan Tree, hallowed spirit of my line. Through my weakness, the glorious house of Ul has all but disappeared beneath the sands. For want of the strength to raise it up again, it were better that it fall. Forgive me, but I know not what else to do.
Is this the cutscene? I think it is. No? That cutscene's coming up, though. I know it is. It's sad when it comes. Pretty sure it is before Heaven's War that cutscene happens. I reckoned you'd head straight to the feast after meeting with Aliana. What's the matter? No appetite? I never met her. So she wasn't there. But this was, eh? Let's see. Looks to me like an alchemist's vial, but beyond that, I can't say. Might be best if you hold on to it for keepsake, though. Anyway, no use worrying about Aliana. Sure she'll turn up before too long, and when she does, we'll soon find out what it was, what this was all in aid of. Besides, you've got more important things to think about. Would you believe that, while you were away, another message arrived for you? One delivered by the Sultana's handmaiden, no less. It seems her grace desires a private audience. Her handmaiden will meet you at the royal promenade and escort you to the Sultana's head chambers. So what are you waiting for? Go on then, go. You're shooing me out of your tavern.
You needn't trouble yourself so.
Your grace is most kind, but it is no trouble to me, rather an honor. If your grace is ready, I shall summon the warrior of light.
I am.
Yep. It's coming. We're getting a bunch of little cutscenes of Nanamo Namo.
Everyone looks to be in high spirits.
With good cause.
A common victory may serve to unite even the most unlikely of allies. You've brought us one step closer to a united Eorzea.
Your modesty knows no bounds, antecedent. Were it not for your efforts, Sir Emmerich would never have become such a steadfast ally. When he convinces his countrymen to rejoin the Alliance, we shall all reap the benefits, military and economic.
Yeah.
I tell you, we are on the cusp of a new era of unity and prosperity. Territorial disputes are all that divide us now. But I have faith that we will find an amicable solution in time. And failing that, I'll have my trusty warrior of light box the ears of all concerned. Speaking of whom...
She will be joining us shortly. A matter at the quicksand required her attention, but it did not sound serious.
Yeah. Doesn't sound very serious, but turns out it actually is kind of important. Quite a long way to run. That's as quick as I can do that run. Thank you for coming, madam. Her Grace is most eager to speak with you. If you require a moment to compose yourself before your audience, you may have it. Or, if you are ready, it would be my honour to escort you to Her Grace's chambers forthwith. Here we go. So this little notification that reads, upon proceeding to the Sultana's bedchamber, several cutscenes will play in sequence. Is the last chunk of the last update of A Realm Reborn. So I think we do these several cutscenes. It should then maybe have a set of credits. I'm not sure if they got credits for the post campaigns. But then we'll be in Heavensward. And then we just need to do the run up to the Foundation where we can then get all the quests and things we need. It is recommended to set aside sufficient time to view these cutscenes in their entirety. Well, I mean, I've still got 50 minutes until fishing, but worst case scenario, we miss a set of fishing. That's not too bad. I think they're all voiced, so I can rest myself a little bit. No, I might still interject between speaking.
Enter.
She is ready.
Your Grace, your guest has arrived.
I'm here, ready for the desert.
Pray, come in, and take your ease.
I am not dressed for a party. I am dressed for snow country. I should have put on a different glamour. I don't have a fancy glamour, but I do have a dress. So maybe I should have worn that one. All the nobles here, and then me wandering around. Although I haven't, like, half the other people are still in uniform.
Well that the steps of faith held against the horde.
And like all these people, all these military folk still in uniform, so why can I not be dressed in a warm winter coat?
And what of the city proper?
We sustained some few losses, but the heart of our nation yet beats with vigor. I am not certain I could say the same had we not received your most generous aid.
An attack on Ishgard is an attack on the realm. We stand together or fall divided.
These three barely contributed anything. Pleasantries. False pretenses. That's what this is.
Such noble words. After the fact.
Yeah, Alphino knows.
I had hoped to speak in the presence of her grace, but it seems she has been delayed. That being the case, now would seem as good a time as any. Honored friends, pray allow me to convey Ishgard's warmest gratitude for your part in the defense of our lands. Tis upon the success of this very alliance that my recommendation to throw open the gates of judgment shall be founded. With the blessing of the Archbishop, it is my hope that Ishgard will soon be reunited with her long-estranged sister nations, and that Eorzea shall once more be as one.
Very well.
Hi, Highway Flowers. You've come in just at a big chunk of cutscenes. They're pretty important cutscenes, though. They kind of lead into the whole Heaven's Ward section. So you get to watch along and get big spoilers for when you eventually play.
Is aught amiss?
I was going to say, don't worry about the spoilers. They are just spoilers for this chunk where it leads from A Realm Reborn into Heaven's Ward. There is obviously still loads of game after Heaven's Ward, but spoilers for the first expansion, I guess.
Nothing to worry about. I shall return anon.
Alphino has been called by the Crystal Braves to do something. We don't know what, but we do know some people among the Crystal Braves are not to be trusted. Specifically this lot.
You wished a word, Yu Hase?
And this little guy who I don't like. He's a little money-grabbing Lalafell, and we do not get along. Oh no, your internet's down. And yet you're still here for the stream. Well, I appreciate it greatly. Hopefully your internet comes back up, and it would be great if you had an account, because you can always get the free trial as well. But then we could play together and do lots of stuff. Oh no, this is the section I was worrying about.
You may go.
No,
Your
don't
grace.
send her away. I mean, not that her being here would stop anything. I was going to say that the free-to-play part that is included in the free trial is way past what I've got to currently, because you get the whole base game, the whole of Heaven's Ward, and I believe the free trial now includes Stormblood as well. It might even include Shadowbringers, but I'm not sure on that one. But it's easily I couldn't even tell you how many hours of gameplay. Like, if I just had the Final Fantasy stuff on my channel, I would easily have the 100 hours. Oh yeah, Nanamo Ulnamo is the Sultana of Uldar. She's effectively their queen. And she's been ruminating over whether to abdicate her position for a while. Yeah, there's certain things you can't do in the free trial, but it's stuff like the connectivity stuff with other players. So like you can't start a party and you can't invite people to your friends list, but you can accept other people's invites to friends lists, I think. And you can no, maybe you can't. Maybe you can't just be on friends lists. I think that's the thing they don't have access to. But you can still go into dungeons. You can still be in parties. You can still continue the story. Like you can still unlock all of the classes. Obviously, except the ones that you have to buy with expansions. But now the Stormblood ones and the Heavensward ones are part of the free trial, so you don't actually have to. Like, you can play all of those. So there is a lot in the free trial. There's me in my lovely snow gear.
You must be curious as to the reason for this private audience. The matter I would discuss, however, will soon make apparent the need for discretion.
Yeah, that's it. We can still form parties, and I can still help you out with various things. Like, I would very happily do joint streams where I help you run through A Realm Reborn, because that would be much more fun than running around on my own. Even though I do just love the story of this game, I would love to enjoy it with people. So if you do start, I would be happy to stream alongside you.
I intend to abdicate the throne and dissolve the monarchy.
She finally told someone, and it's me while we're alone. You clearly know nothing is going to go wrong.
You have seen for yourself the storm of turmoil that howls through our streets. The government fails in its responsibilities, and my subjects suffer the consequences of our incompetence.
Donald Trump, take note, I guess. I'm going to abdicate. Why? Because the government is failing and all of our people are unhappy. And therefore, me being in this position of power doesn't do anything for anyone. Yeah, it is fun to explore games with friends. You've played some Sea of Thieves with people, and that was great. I've never played Sea of Thieves. It looks interesting, but I don't know how good I could be a pirate.
But I will see them suffer no longer. The victory feast shall provide the stage on which I declare the dissolution of the Sultanate. "'Tis mine intent that the ruling class of our golden city should take its place beside the common man in a fair and equitable republic. No more shall this nation bow to the whims of a privileged few."
Equity, not equality. That's what we aim for.
Yet that which I propose will entail the tearing up of this city's very foundations. And even Roban, with all his strength and influence, will be hard-pressed to keep his footing on such treacherous ground.
Wait, in Sea of Thieves, sometimes your ship just sinks and you just get a new one? Like, you just get a new one for free, or you have to build and buy a new one from parts? Do you have to ship a Theseus your entire ship?
Thus would I ask you to lend him a steadying hand. You who have endured the wrath of innumerable foes are the one hero in whom I can place my trust. Will you do this thing for me?
I'm just a little mouse. Sure. Yep, I'll help. At
I
least
am
I'll try to
truly
help.
grateful. More grateful than I can well express. Much of my dread for the coming days has been quieted.
Yeah, I suppose it would be weird if, like a basic ship was really expensive, and so your ship sinking just like completely knocks you out of the game completely. Unless you had someone else to fall back on, that would just be bad gameplay, I suppose. Yeah, it's very much I'm going to abdicate. I'm going to leave this guy who was formerly a slave in charge because he is a military professional and everyone likes him and no one messes with him. But I think he will struggle if he is alone because his second in command was also working for the people that are kind of destroying our city. We love a not ominous zoom in on somebody's cup. Oh no. Raban can sense something is wrong.
Your Grace!
You're not fooling anyone. I hate that. Sorry. I hate that chunk of cutscene. It's so distressing. This little monetarist scum and his terrible acting, but also fantastic timing. Like, he must have literally been
Grace, the Sultana is dead.
He must have literally been sat outside her room with a group of his own mercenaries waiting to hear her hit the floor so that he could walk in. And nobody cared. Like, anyone walking past was just like, yep, that's a group of guards stood outside the Sultana's room, facing the door. Not going to question it.
Poison in her wine? You did this!
No, I am Mouse. I do
Spare us
not
your
know poison.
denials. I see no other suspects, and the room has but the one entrance.
You mean the one you were stood outside? Weird, that.
I hereby accuse you of regicide. Men, arrest this viper.
No, I haven't unlocked the Viper class either. Also, I'd like to see these guys actually fight me. He does suck. He's a little merchant guy who leads the Monetarists, which is the group that's kind of undermining all of Nanamil Unamo's work. And then these guys are the Crystal
barring a few
Braves.
exceptions, we have detained all those with allegiance to the Scions. The Rising Stones is also under our control.
Who are the group of assembled mercenaries that Alphino, who's the guy who's getting a sword held to his throat, put together as like an independent military that could help people. And as you can tell, that's going really well.
And what do you hope to achieve with this mutiny?
Why, that which we have striven for all along, Commander. The salvation of Eorzea.
These few make give Lalafell a bad name. Everyone else is just enjoying a feast, completely unaware that I've been arrested.
What is the meaning of this?
They've got temple knights with them?
Knights from the homeland. This cannot bode well.
Lord Commander, we have received an urgent message from the Holy See. I am grieved to report that your serpentine foes have resumed their assault. Needless to say, your presence is urgently required. These knights have come to bear you swiftly home to Ishgard.
A surprise attack?
We've had no such word from our men, and the timing is most fortuitous to catch us away from the city.
Most fortuitous indeed.
Yeah. Pretty suspicious.
Lord Commander, we must away.
You have been a most gracious host. I hope that I might one day return the favor. Come, Lucia.
Yep. Everyone's inside enjoying the party except Thancred, who's
Whatever is going on in...
chilling outside with a lady friend.
Ah, the ever-dutiful brass blades. I must apologize, but my dance card is rather full. Another time, perhaps?
Thancred, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. You stand accused of committing acts of espionage in service to the Garlean Empire.
I mean, you could accuse him for a lot more than that. He was literally possessed by an Ascian for, like, I think in-game, like, 2 years.
Espionage? What in the seven hells are you talking about? Ah, if you're referring to that business with the Ultima weapon, then you must understand. I wasn't myself.
There we go.
Under interrogation, an Imperial prisoner revealed your involvement in numerous dealings with the enemy. We've also been investigating reports that you are a practitioner of forbidden arts.
Ah, because he worked with the Domans to learn their way of military fighting?
You'd best come along with us.
You invite me to your party and now you want me to leave? I do so detest receiving mixed signals. Come then. I believe I've lost my appetite for this farce of a celebration.
I do like the swoosh fade to black that it does on that bit. Like, literally just the old Final Fantasy battle start. Just whoosh.
You go too far, Lord Adeleji. By what right do you march armed soldiers into a royal banquet and eject state visitors without her grace's consent? You treat the brass blades as your personal army, and show contempt for the throne with your every act. Leave us now.
Is that an order, General? Mayhap you have mistaken me for one of your flames. You will find I am not so slavishly obedient. As you lecture me on personal armies. As for your outrageous claim that I have shown contempt for the throne, let all here observe that it was not I who feasted while an assassin removed its occupant. I expect this is your idea of defending the nation, is it? This and diluting our forces through these distractions in Cartano and Kurthus.
This guy does suck. Like, this is the way he tells the guy who's defended Nanamo Ilnamo for years that she's dead.
I do begin to see how the ranks of the Immortal Flames came to be riddled with Garlean sympathizers. You are plainly unfit for command.
Wait, goddamn you. Your words make no sense. What assassin?
You mean to say you don't know? We caught the vaunted champion of the Scions in her Grace's private chambers, not moments after the deed was done.
No! No, this cannot be!
And then he pins me as an assassin.
Save your breath. You will need it to plead your case. You and your entire order are to be tried for this atrocity. Bring in the prisoner!
No, they tied me up.
This woman stands accused of poisoning Her Royal Majesty Nanamo Ulnamo and is suspected accessories to the crime. All members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn will be detained for questioning.
Says the captain of the Crystal Braves, who is also associated with the Scions. At a, distinction?
This is madness!
This is older.
What a pity. Who'd have thought your tale would end like this?
Oh, it doesn't. I ain't even got to the
Should
first
you
expansion
demand
yet.
further proof, a vial with traces of the substance used to poison her grace was found upon the assassin's person.
How very convenient.
You would speak of convenience? Who persuaded her grace to host this celebration? A diversion which presented you and your confederates ample opportunity to commit the crime, and a crowd within which to fade from view. A more convenient occasion I could scarcely imagine.
How dare you! After all we have done for Uldar!
Hold your tongue, witch! I'll not be ensorcelled. I know all about the dark gift that you and your disciples wield. Oh, yes. I've observed how you worked upon the minds of the Alliance leaders, bending them to your will. And what of your cordial relationship with Sir Emmerich? For years, Ishgard abjured all contact with the outside world, and now the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights treats you with the familiarity of a childhood friend. I'll tell you what I think. I think this desperate defense of Ishgard was but a ruse to deceive us into dividing our forces.
We could take you to Goerthus and show you the giant dead dragon if you want. He's literally on their bridge.
Your next move will be to charm your Kurthan allies into invading our lands.
Sure. Nope.
Now that is truly ridiculous.
How do you even think of this stuff?
She cannot be dead. Stand aside, Ilbert. I want to see the Sultana.
Spare yourself the pain, brother. I saw her with my own eyes. For a mercy, the poison took her swiftly. Her handmaiden can attest to that.
This cannot be. Nanamo. No!
Plainly, the Royalists can no longer be relied upon to keep our nation safe. And so it falls to the monitorists of the Syndicate to govern Uldar. But should you wish to help us, General, we would be more than happy to entrust the task of planning Her Grace's funeral to you. It seems only right that you should bury your precious Sultana, and we will be glad to be rid of that burden.
I'll bet you will. You more than any man.
Kill him. Kill him now.
Whatever do you mean?
I mean you had her killed, you black-hearted bastard!
What rot! Though I did have sufficient motive, 'tis true. That young lady caused me no end of grief. She always was a most unwilling puppet. I dare say Her Grace was grateful that someone thought to cut her strings.
He literally just admitted it.
You would mock her, then mock her from hell!
What?
Have you lost your mind, General? It is forbidden to draw steel in the royal chambers, much less slaughter our fellow Syndicate members. You're one of them. You've been in league with the Scions all along.
You're next, you scheming bastard!
Raban!
7 hells!
Admiral, we must leave.
Ah!
They're literally part of an alliance and they're not going to help him not get executed, potentially.
How unlike you, old friend. I did not expect to take your arm so easily.
Take the Scions into custody. They have conspired to commit regicide. And arrest this traitor as well.
Ilbert, I hope you choke on their coin.
'Tis better than the dirt I've supped on these long years. We can't all abandon Alamigo and become great war heroes as you have. You are not the man you once were, Raban. Since that girl strapped the yoke around your neck, you've become docile. She took the mad bull and cut off his balls, and a bull that cannot rot is fit for naught but slaughter.
Oof.
Shall I tell you who really killed your precious Sultana? It was me.
You die! I never doubted you, not for a moment. But there is more to this than I yet understand. Flee this place. Clear your names. Find out who is behind this plot. It is the only way. Now go!
Raban could just kill them all on his own, except for Ildo. He's actually incredibly powerful.
Ah, there you are.
Thancred, where have you been?
Where hasn't he been?
Avoiding the fumbling advances of some very persistent admirers. When I realized the celebrations had turned sour, it seemed prudent to slip away and take stock of the situation. 'Twould appear that much of the city is already under tight guard. It occurs to me that expanding the Brass Blade's authority may not have been such a wonderful idea after all.
The success of this plan was contingent upon those thugs having the run of the place. Just how long has this scheme been in motion?
Very, very long time.
The careful preparations, the maneuvering of forces. I am inclined to agree with the General's insistence that a deeper plot exists here.
So, would I be right in thinking we now have an excuse to pummel as many brass blades as we like?
You don't care about the important things. Ah, we're all wanted for regicide and we have to flee the city. But I get to punch guys, right?
Unless you plan on pummeling them all, I'm not sure that will greatly aid our cause.
She does. She would quite happily pummel all of the brass blades.
The Sultana's assassination was but one part of the scheme. We too were its targets. And though we did not share Pornonimo's fate, we are yet hobbled by the charges laid at our door. Where now might we seek refuge?
With the ally they just sent
We may
away?
safely assume that our foe is thought to have the Rising Stones watched.
I mean, they literally got the Crystal Braves on their side, so they've got people on the inside of the Rising Stones.
Forgive me for stating the obvious, but our choice of destination will matter little if we cannot secure an escape route out of Ul'dah. Happily, I believe I can provide one. Papashan once told me about the passages hidden in the walls of the palace. If I recall correctly, the fireplace in Animo's chambers conceals the entrance to a tunnel. It should lead outside the city and allow us to avoid any messy confrontations.
like that one. Punching time? Punching time.
The rest of you, go on ahead. I'll handle this lot.
Yida is happy that it is punching time.
By yourself? I suppose I shall just have to join you.
Papalimo is also kind of happy that it's punching time.
Crystal Graves too, huh? Now this should be interesting.
Ida! Papalimo!
We will hold our pursuers here. Hurry, now. Find this tunnel of Thancred's.
This chunk we're stood in is a big loop. Now that you're both stood there and you've closed the gate, the people who you're defending us from could just turn around and go the other way. And then you're not in the way anymore.
Minfilia, we cannot linger.
There's also an Aethernet like right there. You could all just use those to teleport to outside the gate and then leave. There's a lot of solutions here that we're just not doing. Ugh.
Now look what you've done.
Oh, you ruined her mask. You're going to have to go to Rowena and get another one.
Ida, are you all right? There are just too many of them.
I'm fine. I could do this all day. How about you?
Captain Eorzea. I could do this all day.
Nearing the end of my tether.
Does Captain Alamigo work better?
This is so stupid. We're the scions of the Seventh Dawn. The ones who stand between this realm and the evil that's trying to destroy it.
And if you think we'll leave the stewardship of Eorzea to the likes of your masters, then you're sorely mistaken.
Sorry I dragged you into this, Papalimo.
'Tis hardly the first time, and I'll be damned if it will be the last. Let them have it, Ida!
I was hoping you'd say that.
Just give her a limit break. And she's going to limit break a group of people. Yep. Punch time. Yido is going sicko mode.
I never knew such a watercourse existed beneath Uldar.
The architecture is of the Sildine style, if I'm not mistaken. The ancients plainly foresaw the need for a ready means of escape.
Yeah. Coups clearly being very common in their time.
This way!
Well, that didn't take long. It seems these tunnels were not as secret as I'd hoped.
You two, go on ahead. Thancred and I will deal with this.
What do you mean to do?
Beat them all up.
Only that which is required to ensure that the dawn's light survive to brighten the morrow.
Fear not, antecedent. You haven't seen the last of these fair features.
My friends.
Thanks for giving me the torch. Okay, bye.
Leave us!
What is the plan, milady? Shall I take the dozen on the left and you the dozen on the right? The odds are not exactly stacked in our favor.
Numbers will count for little when I bring the tunnel down upon their heads. Though I cannot say I relish the thought of being entombed with you for all eternity.
Wow.
You wound me. I will have you know that many a maid would kill for the chance to spend forever at my side. Now, may I have the last dance?
If you knew it was going to take a little while, you could have started while Thancred was having his little conversation and just ignored them and brought the tunnel down before they even got to it. Oh, Thancred can't be an adventurer anymore.
Well, this is going splendidly. Now would be a good time, milady!
'Tis done.
Maximum wind spell.
Forgive me, Mitra.
Farewell, Ophelia.
He's very bright.
Hydaelyn, she speaks to me. No.
Dang it.
I must remain behind, but you cannot stay with me. Please, you must go on. You are the warrior of light. You are hope for the Scions and for all the realm. As long as your flame continues to burn, the light of the dawn may ever be relit. You must escape and save Eorzea from those who would plunge it into darkness. Tis the only way.
You literally don't fight anyone. Well, thank you for tuning in anyway. Don't use up all your data just watching my stream. I'm glad you tuned in. I was happy to have a chat with you. And when your internet is back, there will definitely be VODs of all of this, so you can always check it out later. And when you get the game, you will see all of this as well, but with your lovely character in this spot. running out of the tunnels, just being like, oh. Do, 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 do. But
I am glad to see you safe, my friend. What of the others?
Owl Mask Hood.
Damn that man! Teleji played me for a fool! I thought the Crystal Brave's mine till the very moment I felt the blade at my back.
Yeah, we'll have Final Fantasy Adventures. Woo!
There will be ample time for soul-searching later. For now, we must put some arms between us and Ul'dah.
That's why we have this carriage that neither of us were riding. Oh no, it's a random carriage. But I know who's piloting it.
Well, would you look who it is? Need a ride? I doubt it'll be half as exciting as the last trip we took. Not if I have anything to say about it anyway.
They voiced him. I forgot they gave him a voice. Wait, did... I swear last time I played this he didn't have a voice. He sounds a lot more jovial than I expected him to.
Let's not dawdle, eh? All aboard!
All aboard. Yeah. My outfit does not enjoy this desert. Please take us somewhere more suited. Chocobo carriage away!
I was stocking up on supplies over in Vesper Bay, you see, when your sister come up and begged a favour. Said her brother was having some trouble down in Ul'dah, and likely needed a helping hand getting away. Thinking them ruins would make a fine hiding place, I decided to try there first. And lo and behold, there you were. Aye, and judging by them soldiers as were pouring out of the city, I arrived not a moment too soon. Ha! Must have been fate that we happened to find you there, though, eh?
I had thought to look out for Alize, but would appear she was the one watching over me. I've made such a mess of things.
Alice, who has not turned up in the story since level 15. No, earlier than that, level like 7, probably. She's been off doing her own thing. I don't know what that thing
Who might
is.
you be, young sir?
Pippin Taropin, Vice Marshal of the Immortal Flames. I had been on the Alamegan front these past few moons, but an urgent communication called me back to Ul'dah. Scarce had my boots touched the cobbles, though, when the streets erupted with cries of assassination. I immediately went in search of answers, and came across Master Alphino here. Needless to say, I did not think his imprisonment justified. The blame plainly lies with the Monetarists. Their greed and corruption are well known to me, but for them to take advantage of the situation with such alacrity...
Was that Pippin, you said? Ain't that the name of General Aldin's lad?
Yes, I am his son. Adopted, of course. 'Twas only as we were leaving Uldar that I learned of father's fate. Once I have seen you a safe distance away, I mean to return to the city and extricate him from this madness.
Yep. Raubon's adopted son.
Then you needn't travel no further than Blackbrush. Our fugitives have a friend waiting for them there.
I dreamed of bringing about Eorzea's salvation, but in the end, 'twas I who needed saving.
Hmm. Oh, apparently the voice lines stopped there. Them soldiers will keep searching for a while yet. Reckon we'll take the carriage back towards Uldar and get the lay of the land. Maybe provide a distraction if need be. You three wait here. Help will be along shortly. Stay strong, friends. The real fight's to come. All right, let's go. Wow. Hey, Pippin. The most unassuming folk can prove to be our greatest allies. That fellow was but a passing merchant, yet he lent us aid without a moment's hesitation, or any hint of concern for his own safety. Though I can well imagine how a man could feel inspired to take all in... Though I can well imagine how a man could feel inspired to risk all in your presence. Father spoke often of you, Tegan, and long have I looked forward to our first meeting. Needless to say, this is not at all how I envisioned it. Master Alphinaud, you must not give in to despair. That would only play into our enemy's hands. So long as you and Tegan are free, we may still set things right. Forgive me, Marshal Terrapin, but I don't know who's talking. I hate when they put question marks there. Alphinaud, my boy, sorry to keep you waiting. No, it's Cid. Alphinaud, my boy, sorry to keep you waiting. Cid, what are you doing here? Pulling you out of the fire as usual. Your merchant friend told me everything. Truly? Then he is no merchant, but an angel in peddler's clothing. But tell us, how do you intend to bear our friends to safety? I had the Enterprise but a short distance away. All I need is a destination. We must find a place beyond the reach of both the Monetarists and the Crystal Braves. Coerthus. Ishgard will not suffer the intrusion of foreign forces in their territory. That settles it. With me, everyone. Not I fear. I must remain here. I dare not abandon Uldar to the Monetarists and their cronies. You may be certain that they will seek to defame you, both here and in other city-states, but know that I shall do my utmost to thwart their every effort. Frankly, I do not expect it to be much of a challenge. The small folk will not turn so easily on the Warrior of Light and her allies, no matter what the Monetarists claim. Marshal Terrapin, I know not what to say. Ha! Now that father would labour to believe. But enough talk. You must go, Master Alphino. Your airship awaits. Indeed it does. Up, up. There's no rest for the righteous. And thus we fly to Coerthas. You do good work, Marshal Terrapin. There we go. Now I'm dressed appropriately. Now that I'm in the snowy Coerthas lands that I probably won't need to leave for a while. My winter dress code is appropriate. We should make for Camp Dragonhead and speak with Lord Horoshphon. Mayhap he will know what to do. Yep. Luckily we got dropped right outside it, so nice and simple. Master Alphino told me your tale, Tegan. It warms my heart that you should turn to me before all others, and I shall endeavour to deserve your trust. Alas, the situation here has grown more complicated in your absence. It would be best I explained in full.
There has been word from the capital. Ishgard has weathered another assault, and 'tis said several wyverns broke through into the city proper. The temple knights succeeded in slaying the beasts, but the intrusion prompted orders to further strengthen the guard, and to place the city under a perpetual state of alert. How keenly we feel the loss of our wards at the gates of judgment. Yet we must not bemoan our misfortune. Sir Emmerich is safely returned from Ul'dah, and once more leads the defense of Ishgard. As for the matter of your asylum, I am afraid no progress will be made until the threat to our nation is diminished.
Yep.
But do not despair. You are not without allies. You are more than welcome to shelter here for as long as you wish. Pray, think of it as a new headquarters of sorts. The Falling Snows, or some such.
He's mocking the choices of
All
the Scions
frivolity
names.
aside, any who come here in search of you will receive no aid from House Forton. For once, the Ishgardian reputation for inhospitality shall work in our favor. Agents of Ul'dah will find their every inquiry dismissed, and their every request for entry rebuffed, until such time as their masters have acknowledged your innocence. You once fought to preserve the honor of my dear friend. 'Tis a blessing that I may now repay that debt in kind. But let us dwell no more on this. Pray, join the rest of your companions. 'Tis bitterly cold this day. I suspect there are those who might welcome the warmth your presence brings.
Why would it pan to show the guy doing squats? Weird decisions. Greetings, madam. Shall I show you inside? Here we go. Cue several cutscenes that will all be around at the same time. Which I believe this is the start of Heavensward. If I'm remembering correctly. Alphino, Tegan, is that really you? Oh, Tataru made it. I'm so happy that you are. I tried contacting Moonvelia and the others, but no one would respond. And then Crystal Braves, our own people, turned on us in the marketplace. Philemon told me to run, and so I did. I ran until my lungs burned and my feet ached. But I lost my way, and then... Fortunately, I observed some of the Braves behaving suspiciously beforehand. Ah, yeah, we get to see Yugiri unmasked, because this is the start of Heavensward. And therefore her race was now actually introduced, and we get to see what they decided the face to look like. Oh, yes, my mask. It was lost in the struggle. Pretty, isn't she? Anyway, after Yugiri found me, we travelled to Vesper Bay and met up with Urianger. When we told him what had happened, he used his magics to weave a glamour around the Waking Sands. From the outside, our old headquarters now looks like an abandoned storehouse. The transformation didn't take long either. Apparently, Urianger started making preparations after the Imperial attack, just in case the Empire ever chose to pay us another visit. Good thinking, eh? Sorry, where was I? Oh, yes. So we waited there in the Waking Sands, hoping others would come, but no one else did. My people are searching for the other Scions even as we speak, but we have met with no success as yet. I had hoped that you might be able to suggest further places to look. But you should know the Rising Stones did not share the Waking Sands' good fortune. Only Crystal Braves await you there. Be that as it may, we yet have cause for hope, do we not? If the two of you escaped, it is not impossible that the others could have also done so. You may have been forsaken by men and women believed true, but rest assured that the people of Doma yet stand with you. We welcome this opportunity to repay our debt, and shall continue our efforts to locate the others and see the Scions restored to their rightful place of honour. Good. We did it, though.
Tis
We
all
finally
my
got to
doing.
Uldar. Not Uldar. We finally escaped Uldar. We finally made it to the Heavensward expansion. We just need to get to Foundation, which I think there's still a fair amount of quests to do.
I believed myself the only one who truly understood Eosia's woes. And look what that arrogance has wrought. I gave commands, influenced governments with my certainty. I treated the Crystal Braves and even the Scions themselves as pawns in my great scheme to save the realm. But in my headlong rush into imagined glory, I paid no heed to the ground upon which I trod. The salvation of Eorzea. What was it that I hoped to achieve? Did I believe that I could rid the realm of every danger and difficulty? That I could defeat the Empire and the Ascians, and find homes for every refugee? Oh, yes. I was so very clever. Become a guardian of Eorzea, I implored, and sat back to watch my perfect army cleanse the land of chaos. It was all but a means to feed my own vanity. Only when all is lost do I finally realize the truth.
Oh, Alphinaud.
So, Master Alphinaud, are you content to remain a broken blade? Is there no flame hot enough to reforge you? What of the fine companions who yet stand at your side? I dare say the fires of their determination will soon have you slicing the air again with your customary wit.
I hardly deserve such friendship. And besides, where are we to go?
Alphinaud, if I may? Should this place not serve our purpose, then we shall go to Ishgard. Minfilia told me many times, as long as we stand fast against despair, the beacon of hope will never be lost to sight. Be it in the snow or in the clouds, we few will see that the dawn's light shines again.
You are right, Tataru. Thank you. And thank you for your kind words, Lord Orchefon. 'Tis true that Eorzea yet has her guardians. The Scions have achieved much, and 'twould be remiss of me to discard it all in a fit of self-pity. Let us then resume our journey, together, one step at a time.
I can't interrupt his nice little speech. And Tataru's speech as well.